Hi, my name is Sarah McKenzie, and I am the special education teacher running this annual IEP. Um, the team members that will be here today are the intervention specialist, speech and language pathologist, the general education teacher, the occupational therapist, the district representative, the parent and guardian, and the student is not attending. So as I said, this is just our annual IEP that we are covering today. And then we'll get started. So the profile for our student, his name is Cam. He is a first grade student and he participates in the general education setting for the majority of the day with some pull-out intervention for reading, phonics, writing, and math as well for speech and language therapy, occupational therapy, and physical therapy. He's a hard worker and a joy to work with. He seems to put forth his best effort most of the time and wants to do well. He is inquisitive and interested in knowing things that are going on around him in various topics, and especially in a small group setting. He seems to thrive when praised and is encouraged often. He gets along well with his peers most of the time, as well with his teachers. He seems to want to please those around him as much, and he has such a sweet disposition. According to the general education teacher, Chris is very quiet and does not participate in class a lot. Recently, he has required prompting to pay attention as he is often playing with things at his table and not listening carefully to directions given. He does not know what to do on his paper's assignment, often because he isn't listening closely. He works independently but does not do his work correctly. She loves to see Chris's independence develop further and for him to succeed by himself. For reading, Chris has done well throughout the year in small group setting for phonics instruction. He tries hard and uses strategies that he has been taught when reading and writing words, especially in isolation. On a recent assessment of reading and writing, Chris defined sounds in following positions with the following accuracies: beginning 90 to 100%, medial 90 to 100%, and end 90 to 100%. He mastered his previous phonics goal, which was to accurately identify sounds at the beginning, medial, and end positions to read and spell words with at least 80% accuracy. Chris still continues to confuse short vowel sounds at times and mixes up the B and D when reading and spelling as well. He does use resources that are provided to him around the room and seems to understand the phonics skills which have been taught to this far. We have practiced long vowel patterns, EE, and the A, and he remembered those sounds consistently when reading and spelling. We've also worked on 2 digraphs, sh and k, which seem to be remembered from day to day. Chris continues to need incentive phonics instructions in order to continue developing his reading and spelling skills. We will continue to practice the skills that he has been taught so far this year, as well as teaching new skills as he makes progress and uses skills to read words fluently and accurately on a consistent basis. For math, he's done very well. He's met his previous IEP. He's done a great job adding and subtracting within 20, which is what his class is currently working on. It is difficult for him to show certain strategies and instead it just solves the way he chooses. Chris was able to solve 18 out of 20 addition problems and 14 out of 20 subtraction problems within 20. The general education teacher and intervention specialist are pleased with Chris's progress in math, but believe it would benefit Chris to continue to receive special instruction in order to have extra opportunities to practice previously taught strategies. When doing an exit ticket, Chris often struggles not to do them correctly unless assistance is provided. Independently, he makes or completes the exit tickets incorrectly. Chris will benefit from continued to receive specially designed math instruction and with intervention specialists. For writing, Chris continues to improve his writing skills. He's able to come up with his ideas in his head and puts them down on paper. He does continue to struggle with proper grammar while writing. He often leaves words out of sentences. He needs to be reminded to go back and reread his writing to fix mistakes. He is improving when capitalization and punctuation, but will sometimes need periods. in random spots and his writing. He is able to include details in his writing, but has a hard time writing a proper introduction and conclusion sentence. Cam will need support in writing to continue work on his mechanics and organizations of writing pieces. According to the general education teacher, he's able to spell with an average with all the other spelling tests equaling 28%. Writing sentences 36%. Digraphs, blends, and glued sounds seem to be hard for him to hear when spelling. He is writing sentences with words that he tries to sound out and uses spaces well. At times, he's able to spell 57 out of 114 sight words at 50%. Then we have his gross motor, and we'll let his intervention specialist talk about that. And then he also has speech and language, which we will let her go over as well, along with his visual motor that his other intervention specialist will speak on. Chris participated in taking the NWEA MAP assessment in both reading and math at the beginning of the current school year and in midway through the school year. He earned the following results. In reading, his fall score was 142, which is in the 16th percentile, and his winter score was 163 at the 41st percentile. So he did improve there. His math fall score was 148, which was the 20th percentile, and then the winter he scored a 165, which was the 34th percentile. So for his academic benchmarks, we've given him for gross motor, for writing. By the next annual review, Chris will develop and write a topic sentence relating to the given prompt 2 out of 3 trials. By the next annual review, Chris will develop and write 2 to 3 detailed sentences relating to the given topic 2 out of 3 trials. By the next annual review, he will develop and write a conclusion sentence relating to the given prompt 2 out of 3 tracks. For decoding and encoding, by the next annual review, he will be given a list of words that include short vowels. Cam will decode and read the words and spell them at least 90% accuracy, 2 out of 3 trials measured by a performance assessment. And then we will let the specialist go over all the other ones. And then for math, we have, will accurately solve 16 out of 22 digit addition problems with regrouping in 3 out of 4 trials. And he will accurately solve at least 16 out of 22 digit subtraction problems with regrouping in 3 out of 4 trials by his next IEP. Give me just a second. Chris will continue to be in the general education classroom for the majority of the day, other than the times when he is pulled out for the services that we've gone over. Chris will benefit from an extended school year and does qualify to meet those needs to qualify. So he will be awarded an extended school year. The team will review the procedural safeguards and available to the parents and the student and understand that the Individuals with Disability Education Act. This will include informing about the due process, mediation, and right to appeal the decision. And then we will also make sure that the parents that prior written notice of any procedural changes to any IEPs. We'll obviously let you know if there's any changes to this, any changes in services, placements, or goals. This notice will provide a clear expectation with proposed changes. Excuse me. Reasons behind them. In conclusion, the meeting will just want to make sure that everybody understands where we are and all the goals that we have set for this year for camp. Is there any questions? All right. Well, I think that about I think that about sums it up. Thank you so much for being here today.